Good morning, it's Tattooed Alex out on a ride on the 48 on a beautiful Saturday morning. Just starting off my ride, just stopped to get gas. Obviously, when you ride a 48 with a 2.2 gallon tank, you're definitely aware of where you're going and how many miles you've gone if you need to stop for gas. So I had 45 miles. I actually just put 0.9 gallons in. So I'm actually doing mostly this type of riding, not necessarily highway, but mostly where the speed limit's about 55. Not a whole lot of stopping on my trip here. I got like one light, and then I've got like a couple, I think I got like two more right when I hit one of the smaller towns, but not really any much stopping and going like in the city. So with this I can get pretty much close to about 100 miles on a tank, maybe slightly less, but not by a whole lot. Now when I say 100 miles, and I think the book says right about 48 miles per gallon, so we'll put it right at about the 100 mark. Now, with that being said, that sure isn't the case if you ride in the city. A couple weeks ago, I'd taken my bike to work and forgot about it. So I get on it on Saturday morning. I got 40 miles on there, so I'm like, I'm good for at least another, 45, 50 miles maybe. So go ahead and I pass my usual gas stations where I get gas, and I'm riding out, and I hit about my midway point where I like to sit sometimes and drink some water and just kind of relax a little bit, kind of taking the view out there. And right when I take off, I notice that my gas light comes on, which was a little concerning, because at that point it was, I think I was probably at about 60 miles. One other time I'd had my gas light come on at about that, and it was same situation. I'd done city riding, and the gas mileage isn't quite as good in that, so I was a little alarmed at that point. Not real concerned, but I knew if I took a right, there was a gas station about 3 miles down. If I took a left, it was about 5 miles down. So I thought, I'm going to try my luck and go left. So I started to go, I took a left, went down, and through there, at one point you actually have to drive through the small town. The speed limit's like 30, so I was kind of sweating a little bit riding through there, and my bike actually stalled literally as I was taking a right. The gas station's kind of on the corner, but I have to take a right and a left. So as soon as I take a right, my bike literally dies on the spot. So I had to kick it about 5 times, while I'm riding it, to try and kind of move along. And then when I took a left down the gas station, it's kind of slanted, so I was able to coast up to the right up to the pump, and I think it was right at about 65 miles. So definitely one thing to keep in mind. Obviously, all my riding is mainly out in the city or roads like this, out just kind of a fun ride. So definitely a drastic difference there. I mean, you're talking probably about 35-mile difference between city riding and kind of highway or open road riding, as I call it. So things to definitely keep in mind. So but one of the things I want to talk about today was a little bit about solo riding and group riding. And pretty much 95% of all the riding I've done the past 16 years has all been pretty much solo riding. I did do some group rides a couple years back, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't the right group or just not for me, but probably about 8 years ago, I went on I was going to do a poker run, and one of those where you just go to different, if you guys aren't aware, you have basically draw a card, and you go to different bars, and you take another card until you get all your cards, and sometimes you can pay for a better card if you want, do another draw, and it's usually some type of fundraiser. Like the one I was doing was an angel run. I think it was for kids that have parents that are in prison, and it's a fundraiser to get money for the kids that unfortunately have their parents in prison and don't get Christmas presents. So I thought it was kind of neat. Unfortunately, it's for the kids. So I went out there, and I didn't know anybody, and I thought, yeah, I'll just do it, group ride. And I was getting gas, and this is when I had my VTX 1300C. So stopped to get gas, and I saw a couple of guys that I knew actually from the church that I went to. And so we were kind of talking. They're like, yeah, you want to ride with us? I'm like, sure. So there was a couple of guys and their wives. So it was fun for the most part. Went down to Colorado Springs and through, I think it was like Palmer Lake, and real scenic route. And it was fun, and it was kind of neat. I didn't really know them that well, but it was fun. I just had to really pay attention. Usually you're kind of staggered, and your front tire doesn't go past their back tire type of situation. And sometimes they weren't paying attention. I mean, they were, they're like swerving over and taking the whole lane. And I mean, it was some beautiful scenery and by the lake, and they just weren't paying attention. So it was a little nerve-wracking sometimes when you're trying to ride in formation. Next thing you know, the bike in front of you starts cutting over next to you. So it was all right. It was fun. I mean, pretty badass when you're riding down the road with group of bikes, and then you catch up to another group of bikes. Next thing you know, it's 40, 50 bikes out there. So it was a lot of fun doing that. So the following year I actually did another poker run, but my wife's aunt, her husband had a bike. He had like a Kawasaki or something, and he came up from Colorado Springs. We did this poker run, a lot of fun, man. He was a great guy. Unfortunately, they divorced, so I don't. And he moved back to New York, so I don't go motorcycle riding with him anymore. But again, the church we used to go to, they actually had a motorcycle riding club. So my wife's like, hey, you always ride alone. Why don't you get out there with them? And I thought, what the heck? So I went and met him. There was a ride set up. Went and met him. We did a ride. It was same thing down in Colorado Springs. Went down. It was a beautiful ride, but I just gotten these new saddlebags, and we stopped at the gas station down in Colorado Springs, and I noticed one of my bags was like smoking, literally. And I looked, and my bag was hanging too low, actually touching my exhaust pipe. Had actually melted like the bag, part of the bottom of the bag to it. And so on the Hondas, you have to take the seat off, and so I had my little toolkit on me, and pulled my seat off, and there was probably about a dozen of us in this ride, and the guys actually left me. I'm sitting there, and I was probably one of the early ones, the first ones to get gas. Everybody's gassing up, so I pull over to the side. I start pulling my seat off, and I've got to pull the straps tighter. I actually had to take my knife and poke a hole in some of the straps to pull them a little bit tighter. And while I'm doing this, I see bikes rolling away. And one of the last guys, he felt kind of bad, but he's like, hey, I want to be at the Village Inn. Just take a left, and it's about a half mile down the road on the right. We'll be over there. So I was, seriously in complete shock that, what kind of group leaves one of your guys behind? And so I wasn't real happy about it. I got everything strapped up. At this point, I had to wait till I got home to clean my exhaust pipe off with some of that, melted, stuff from my bag on there. I had actually a tiny little hole in there too in my bag. So I was doing pretty good and pretty upset, and I debated going home after that. And I thought, what, the guys might worry about me, and I thought, what, I'm just going to go ahead and stop. So I went ahead, got up probably about 10 minutes later after they had left. I got up there, went to Village Inn. They actually had a seat for me there, so I stopped, had some breakfast with them, and everybody was all right. Not, sometimes I can be kind of quiet too till I get to know everybody. So, I wasn't real talkative, just a little bit, and no one really asked me about all the stuff about my bag and if everything was okay. That was kind of annoying, but I kind of left it. So, we went for a ride. It was fun. It was, a nice ride through there. And then the way back, we didn't take the interstate. We took one of the side roads. It's actually, the speed limit's about 55. Actually, I think it's 65 through there. And I was wearing a half helmet with actually goggles at the time. And we were riding, speed limit's about 65, and we were probably riding about 80 to 90 miles per hour like most of that trip up. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I enjoy riding. I don't need to go a bat out of hell just hauling ass down the road. I mean, I'm trying to enjoy the scenery, taking the scenery, relaxing. That wasn't a real relaxing ride for me. Just hauling ass probably for about 45 minutes. We were doing that about 80 to 90 miles per hour, and I remember, we get in the town where we live and everybody separates, and I get home, walk into the door, and my wife looks at me and says, "Man, what's wrong with your face?" And I was kind of laughing. I'm like, "I don't know what you mean." She goes, "You need to look in the mirror." So I remember looking in the mirror, and my face was just covered in grime. I mean, literally, I had my goggles off. Luckily, I had goggles, not sunglasses, or it had gotten my eyes. But literally, from my, underneath my eyes down, my entire face was just plastered with dirt from riding like that. And it had been kind of a windy day that day as well, so it was, it just wasn't fun. I remember telling my wife, the situation about, that it's like, hey, they actually ended up leaving me there, and I had to catch up to them for breakfast, and then just real hard riding back. I just didn't enjoy it, and that was pretty much the end of my my riding with groups. After that, I kind of decided, you know what, I kind of like doing my own thing. I mean, I said, it's pretty badass when you're group riding, a bunch of bikes pulling in or riding down the road. It's great, but I enjoy solo riding. I mean, I don't really know. I know a couple of guys that have bikes, but some live on the other side of town or super sports. And hopefully my brother should be getting a bike here within about the next year and a half, and go riding together. But I don't know. I guess I enjoy solo riding. I enjoy having, deciding where I want to go, or if I want to turn, or if I want to keep going, or what I want to do. I like the aspect of that for solo riding. They do have a local hog chapter here that I'm on it on Facebook, and see they have some of the rides. I don't really see any Sportsters or 48s in the pictures and stuff. Mostly are a lot bigger bikes, and so with having a 48, and you got to think about gas, and I'm just I don't like holding the group behind. On Facebook, I'm part of a Colorado Sportsters group. They don't really do many rides. I mean, I guess I could try and put something together, see if anybody's interested. Most of the guys post pictures of their bike, or some are, little other areas of Colorado. Sometimes they've talked about, going on a ride, but nothing here like, Denver metro area. So I guess I'll have to see and post something, see if anybody's interested on getting together for a ride down in this area. So if you guys have any questions about, your opinions or your experiences, I'd love to hear about them in comments. So